OpTic Texas are your champions of CDL Major 3, so it's time to do an updated power rankings. Quickly, before we get into the actual power rankings, let's go through some of the stuff that happened this weekend. I mean, as you can see, OpTic Texas took it in the grand finals versus Ultra in a 4-0 sweep, and this event was probably the best, well, easily the best one this year. Honestly, one of the best ones in recent memory. Yesterday on Sunday, Championship Sunday, was one of the best days of COD we've seen in a very long time. Honestly, if Ultra would have fought back a little bit more in the finals, this would have been an insane day of COD. We had 3 game 5s. We saw the top 4 battling it out. OpTic coming out on top, and FAZE falling to 3rd, which is probably, honestly, the most surprising part. And also, really cool to point out here from Jason over on Twitter replying to this, OpTic went to losers bracket, and they took down all 3 of the other top 4 teams one by one. They took down the New York Subliners, they took down Atlanta FaZe, and then they 4-0 swept Toronto Ultra in the grand finals. So OpTic Texas, I mean, they beat every single person, every single team you could try to put over them in the power rankings. And I gotta say, man, a lot of that was due in part to superstar Shotzzy showing up when it mattered most, man. I'm gonna say it, bro. Shotzzy, and I think this is a fact, Shotzzy has always been a player that plays worse on LAN, right? I don't think you could argue that. If you're an OpTic fan and that makes you angry, that's because it's true. But yesterday on Sunday in this event, Shotzzy was absolutely incredible. Even Dashy had an incredible weekend. Pred and Kenny had their moments. They had series where they both went crazy, but they both had series where maybe it was a little bit down. But Shotzzy and Dashy, especially yesterday on Sunday, were absolutely crazy, and especially Shotzzy, I mean, by far deserving of the MVP. And super crazy to think that after 805 days, OpTic finally got their first win, and this was the longest drought they've ever had in the franchise history. OpTic has never gone this long without a win. So Kenny and Pred coming in, helping Shotzzy and Dashy get it done. But another super crazy part is the last time OpTic won a championship without SCUMP on their team was COD XP 2011, which funnily enough was the first event I ever watched. So this event, especially NADESHOT over here, was the reason I even watched competitive Call of Duty. So the fact that this was the second time or the last time since they won a championship without SCUMP is just super crazy. And then right before we get into the rankings, just to look at the updated CDL standings, FaZe are in first, OpTic take over second, Miami slide into 5th, LA Thieves falling down. So right now you can see your top 8. There is literally a 20-point difference from LAG at 11th and Miami at 5th. So Major 4 is going to be an absolute battle. Every single win matters. Pretty much only Boston Breach are out of contention at this point, but every other team, Major 4 is going to be massive. But without further ado, now that we went over some of that stuff, let's get into the power rankings. Now, I do want to say, the only thing that sucks about power rankings after a major is like they kind of look similar to how teams placed at the major. Obviously, a lot of bottom teams stay at the bottom, top teams stay at the top. There is some fluctuations, but overall, unfortunately, with just the way rankings work, updating them every week, sometimes it looks the same. So Boston Breach still at number 12, to no surprise, right? LAG, I had fallen down to number 11, getting passed up by Legion. Honestly, this is solely just because I thought Legion looked better. And they took 2 maps off of their competition where LAG only took 1. I mean, this is really nitpicky. You could put either one of these at 10 or 11. I think they're interchangeable. And then just above them is the Minnesota Rocker at number 9. All 4 of these teams went out top 12. All 4 of these teams are in the bottom 4 in the power rankings. It is what it is. Then coming into our top 8, I have LAT falling down 2 spots into number 8, as well as the Carolina Royal Ravens falling down as well. I actually believe this for LAT should have been a 3. I had them 5 and they fell to 8, where I had Ravens at 6 and they fell to 7. So both of those teams obviously falling, and both of those teams losing to the teams ahead of them, which is the Miami Heretics and the Seattle Surge. I do have Seattle over Miami. I think overall they just look stronger. But Miami, man, they took a map off of OpTic. They took a map off of FaZe. So, you know, great land, honestly, for Miami. You go from not winning a map to getting top 6. Super great regain here at Major 3. And then we get into our top 4, where I'm sure most of you want to see what happens. At number 4, to no surprises, the New York Subliners. They obviously got top 4. They've been number 4 for weeks and weeks on end here, and they are undoubtedly the team outside of the top 3, right? I think it is just the top 3 at this point, and New York Subliners are the ones just on the outside. And now here's where it gets fun, man. I do want to say this. I know people are going to say, well, OpTic and Ultra beat FaZe, so they should be over them. I know people are going to say, well, FaZe just had a bad day, so they shouldn't really fall that far. To each their own, man. If you want to mix and match these however you want, you can. But at the end of the day, this is my power rankings. If you disagree with me, I apologize, but you can let me know in the comments why. But for me, I got FaZe at 3, Ultra at 2, and OpTic at 1, man. I know it's exactly how that major played out. That might seem boring, but OpTic beat Ultra, OpTic beat FaZe, Ultra beat FaZe. I know Ultra did beat OpTic as well in Winners Round 2. But OpTic did their thing, man. They were the best team in the game yesterday, and they're deserving of it. They won the event. They should be number one. They beat everyone underneath them, man. So they definitely deserve one. FaZe lost to the two above them. I think this is fair, man. Now, at the end of the day, was it just one bad day for FaZe? Probably, right? Like, we'll probably see FaZe definitely in the top 3 again at Major 4 and probably at Champs as well. But these have been the top 3 teams at all 3 majors so far, just in different orders. They all have one major win. MVP race is interesting now because now you got Scrap, you got Simp, even Celium, and Shotzi all in an MVP race now, which is super interesting. But like I said, I think this is how I'm doing my rankings. These update every week, and this is on land, man. At the end of the day, the people who say online shouldn't count are probably the same people who are saying, oh, FaZe just had a bad day, they shouldn't fall to 3. So at the end of the day, my rankings are my rankings, your rankings are yours. Let me know what you think. Roster Mania is going to be incoming for some of these bottom teams, so make sure you're subbed to the channel or you follow me on Twitter. Definitely sub to the channel, honestly, because that's the #1 place where I'm going to be posting news. But Roster Mania is going to be incoming, and I'm going to be updating you guys on everything that happens. I'm planning a bunch of more cool content for the offseason as well when that swings around. And then, obviously, as we head into Major 4 and Champs, I'm going to be pumping out videos as well. So I appreciate the support. Great weekend to watch parties. You guys have just been super great, man. If you're still listening at this point in the video, I appreciate you an absolute ton. So thank you so much for watching all the content. So, you know, the tweets, the TikToks, everything. You guys are honestly the absolute best, and I'm honored to have such a sick community of CDL fans, and I'm excited to continue the growth and the grind with content. So thank you guys for everything. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the rankings, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.